Hello there, Mr. N Gold. We took a look at some of your charts, Steam library, achievements, playtime, that sort of thing. And I don't know how to tell you this, but you have Restartitis, and it's bad. I can't tell you the last time you've actually finished the game, but don't worry, there is still hope. In front of you, there are two options. You can either choose this card, restarting the game, once again making a new character, setting a new path. But we all know you're just going to become another stealth archer. It's inevitable. Or you could choose this card, actually finish the game. Set yourself on a path that you already chose. Feel accomplished at actually finishing a game. Another game crossed off the list. So, choose the right choice and you will be cured. Are you kidding me? Just finish the game! Just finish the... I have a problem. I cannot stop restarting my games. RPGs especially. Before I even make it halfway through the game's story, I restart it again and again and again. Each time as a new character build, a new narrative path, only to be replaced just as quickly by the next character idea, the next path. The result? It takes me forever to finish a playthrough. Call me Knights in White Satin, because I'm never reaching the end. It's maddening, a gaming cage of my own creation. But why does this happen? Restart-itis is not a rare affliction, and has been infecting gamers for a long time. Well, based on my own experience, I have some ideas. This is a spreadsheet of my data with the games I restart the most. Here are the number of hours I've played the game, the estimated time needed to complete the main story according to howlongtobeat.com, the minimum number of times I could have finished the game based on that, and how many times I actually have. Yikes. One thing these RPGs have in common is their abundant choices, whether that be narrative routes, gameplay skills to choose from, or both. These abundant choices allow for a wide variety of character builds to choose from, leading to the player getting new character ideas as they play. Now, some people can see these alternative gameplay builds and leave them for their next playthrough, after they finish their first. But many, including myself, are not so patient, so we restart the game with this new character build. You might do this for multiple reasons. Maybe the build you chose wasn't clicking with you and you wanted to try something else. Or you learned more about how the gameplay works and realized your first build doesn't actually work. You could respec, but in some games this ability doesn't come until later. Restarting is easier and leaves a clean slate. It also doesn't hurt that these games' starting areas are pretty damn fun, so playing through them again is no challenge. Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3 being the obvious example. But I think something deeper is tied into this restarting habit, namely perfectionism and the need to do absolutely everything in a game. When starting a new game, gamers want their imagined character build to be perfect, their narrative choices to be perfect, and they want to see everything the game has to offer, not miss a single thing. So when they encounter a setback to that goal, say the skill they chose was not ideal, they forgot an item in the previous area, or a narrative choice they made resulted in something they didn't like later on, they restart. They could just accept it and move past it, but then the playthrough isn't perfect, and will never have 100% completion. So instead, they hit the big restart button and try again. I have a great anecdote of this happening in one of my own incomplete playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3. I ran into a bug at the owlbear nest where the owlbear cub never leaves, never shows up at the goblin camp, and thus can never be invited to join the camp. Now I could have just taken this setback on the chin. You know what happens, I'll just have no owlbear cub with this playthrough. But I couldn't. No owlbear cub? I can't have that. It stays with you the entire game. All those cutscenes, all that content, gone. And so halfway through Act 1, I restarted again, just for the owlbear cub. I couldn't handle an imperfect playthrough. I paid 80 Monopoly money for this. I'm getting everything. If that explains why people restart, then for what reason do gamers not restart? Well, other than some gamers being built different, I think that every game has a line past which restarting is no longer an easy solution to your problems. It's different for everybody, but generally it is somewhere around the middle of the game when respecing is easily accessible and the player has too many hours invested since the start. In the game I restarted the most, Divinity Original Sin 2, where I could have finished the game 5 times in the time it took me to do it once, That one playthrough I finished was because I had entered Act 3. In Act 1 and 2, there are so many different decisions you can make, and it is close enough to the start that I could justify restarting to try a new route. But by the time Act 3 comes around, are you kidding me? There's no way I'm not gonna finish the game. Act 2 is so long that if I finish it, I'm way too far into the weeds to not commit to seeing the game through. Every player has a point where the urge to keep the ball rolling overpowers their desire to restart. Getting to that point is why people stop the Restartitis. But why should we stop restarting, you may ask? Is Restartitis even a bad thing? It's the player's decision after all. Just let them do what they want. Well, yes, you can restart if you want, but I think a severe case of Restartitis can spoil a great game. This is because constantly restarting will burn you out and force you to quit the game before you finish because it just isn't fun anymore. No matter how good the first part of a game is, if you replay it over and over again, it will get stale. Players can alleviate this burnout by playing new game content, which is naturally fed to you as you move forward in the game. But with Restartitis, you never see that fresh gameplay, the interesting narrative developments. You only play what you've already played, eventually quitting before experiencing something new. This is compounded by a trend I notice in my own gameplay. No matter how different I try to make my build each restart to change up my gameplay, I always end up playing the same. The stealth archer effect from Skyrim. I tend to play a certain way, so all my playthroughs drift towards my base state, resulting in them feeling the same. Okay, that's most likely a skill issue on my end, but it still shows how Restartitis can negatively impact your enjoyment of a game. That's really what it all comes down to, enjoyment. Restartitis is caused by our attempts to maximize enjoyment in our games, but it can just as easily do the opposite. I don't have an easy solution for this, because it's all based on mindset. Change the mindset, accept that you cannot do everything, accept some imperfection, resist the urge to restart at a mistake, and you may change the action. I'm Olden Gold, like and subscribe if you want, and that's my video on Restartitis. Thank you.